So, hi guys, a very good evening to all of you. This is Harsh Gagrani here, one of the founders of Top Rankers, and today we have with us Rohan Joshi, who is All India Rank 3 in CLAT 2026. So, welcome, Rohan, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
How's the feeling?
It feels really good, like because I've worked so hard throughout the year and to finally get it, especially such a high rank, it feels really good that all the hard work I've put in has paid off.
That's wonderful here. And what was your score in CLAT?
I scored 111.75 out of 120 and I attempted 118 questions.
118 questions, got it. And how was your mindset that day, and how were you feeling, and what was, and did the feeling change on seeing the surprise in the logical reasoning section? And how did you deal with it?
Okay, so on the day of CLAT, I was actually surprisingly very calm. Like when I used to talk to my parents a lot, and they used to say that one good piece of advice that we can give you is treat it as another mock, because if you treat it as like you've worked so hard for this year and this is the final exam, then you get pressurized and you might shake during the exam. So it's better to just treat it as like another mock and just go out and write and do what you do best. And yeah, I felt that during the exam I was very calm, and of course logical was a big curveball. But and I used to take a lot of help. I had a really great mentor who's currently his first year in NLS. So one piece of advice that he continuously repeated during the last phase was that on the day of CLAT something is definitely going to go wrong, at least one thing will go wrong, and the person who gets thrown off the least does the best at the end of the day. So this year it was that logical was a bit weird, but I had prepared for analytical, so I wasn't really worried. And yeah, I was just going to write the paper in 2 hours and deal with whatever happens afterwards.
So wonderful advice. Uh, so that's great, yeah. And uh, so when did you first hear of law as a career, or when did you? So were you always thought of going into this career, or so what's the background of going into this career?
I discovered law pretty late actually, because till 10th I didn't really think too much, and then or and the later part of 10th grade I realized that I don't really like science so much. So and I started, like, I talked to my parents, I talked to a few people that I know, and I was keen on taking humanities because I was interested in subjects like history and political science. So yeah, when we started exploring, like, because we were all relatively new to, this is a new field and it's currently growing really fast. So when we looked at, we saw law as one of the viable careers. And yeah, it seems like a pretty stable career option. And as I started researching more, reading more about what the field is about, I started liking it more. So I decided that this could be a good option for me.
Got it. And what was your stream in class 11th and 12th?
I've taken humanities, so I have history, political science, economics, but I also have maths because my father especially recommended that I should take math, because that familiarity with numbers always helps, because a lot of entrance exams do ask math. And CLAT math this year was also a little tricky because they asked quite a bit of calculations.
Yes, yes, yes. And were you always into reading, or or you had to develop interest in reading after you started preparing for CLAT?
No, I was always into reading. I used to love reading from a really small age. Like, my mom used to read to me, and then as I started reading, I used to keep reading a lot throughout my fifth, sixth, seventh, and I used to love reading. And yeah, I still do love reading. Even though the CLAT exam is over, I still sometimes open the newspaper or I started reading another book. And yeah, I always enjoyed reading. So CLAT also came as second nature to me.
And what kind of books do you usually read?
I enjoy reading fiction. Like I like reading Agatha Christie or John Grisham, these types of books.
What's your favorite Agatha Christie book?
And then there were none.
Same here. So I've read at least, let's say, 20 Agatha Christie books. Crooked
Oh
House,
wow,
and then there were none. Murder at the Orient Express.
yeah,
Uh,
Roger
there's
Ackroyd.
The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Uh, and I think one, two, three, or I'm forgetting a lot of names. But I would have read. Even in fact, I also read my first Agatha Christie book, even though I read it in 2015-16. But then the COVID was when the books started growing on me, and then I read it back to back, back to back.
Yeah.
And then there were none I would have read at least 5, 6 times, especially the last few chapters.
Oh, and yeah, I like to add one more thing that in CLAT this time they asked a passage straight from Animal Farm, and that's such a classic book, and I like having that familiarity with what the book setting is. It really helps to answer the questions.
It really helps. Yes, yes, yes. Animal Farm, 1984, George Orwell.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so I think yes, I think that's a that's a wonderful insight that uh, this habit of reading really helped you a lot.
yeah,
Not just because a passage came from a book that you had read, but I mean, generally being very well read, it increases your confidence. Your vocabulary is very good. Your
yeah,
comprehension is a lot better as compared to a student who is not a reader.
yeah.
So that's wonderful. Yeah. So okay, and so throughout the preparation journey, Rohan, how was so how was the preparation journey like? How did a typical day look like? Um, when did you do
Honestly,
what? Where did you spend your time? And how did you
like,
balance your school and clan prep?
okay, so yeah, like my CLAT journey has definitely been a lot of ups and downs. It's not definitely not been a smooth ride, and my schedule used to kind of vary quite a bit because at the start of the year I was balancing a lot of things because I play a lot of cricket also, so I had to balance sports and CLAT and school as well. So I but yeah, I would say that yeah, it was pretty difficult for me to do that, and I used to honestly spend a lot of my time doing GK because yeah, GK is such a vast subject, and uh, like honestly for me, sections like English and logical were a little bit on the easier side because I'm used to doing it. But I used to study GK and legal a lot throughout the day, so I can remember like very vividly my daily schedule from September onwards because that was kind of it was like really really hard to stay consistent with it. Like I used to put in 6 to 8 hours almost every day. Like I used to stay consistent in my GK. I used to write a lot of mocks. I used to write 4 mocks a week in the last phase leading up to CLAT. And yeah, honestly, I've worked quite hard and I've put in all the effort that I could have.
Wonderfully. And what was the weakest section throughout? Or did the
Oh,
weakest section change?
yeah. For me, it had always been legal. Legal was always my toughest section because I never used to be able to differentiate between two very similar options. And I've never studied like legal studies or something because they do offer that as a subject, but I didn't take it. So I was a little bit weak in that section. Luckily, I used to cover it up a lot with my other because my other sections were quite good. But yeah, I just had to keep practicing, and it came out quite well in CLAT 2026 in the actual paper.
Yes, yes. And was there any phase when your score suddenly dropped, or were they consistently high?
No, no, they were definitely ups and downs. In the first part of my mock journey, or whenever I used to write mocks, I was stuck in low 80s, 70s. But there was a phase in maybe April, May when I suddenly started working a lot harder, and my scores reflected that. I started hitting high 90s. But there was also maybe a phase in August and September where few mocks I did extremely bad. I got like in 70s, 2, 3 mocks, and I started getting a lot more worried. But I talk to my seniors and they're like, yeah, this is normal. You can't expect to be consistent throughout the your CLAT journey. And yeah, thankfully I listened to their advice, and yeah, because I continuously kept working hard. It's just that maybe I didn't perform on the day. But yeah, just be having faith in yourself that everyone has bad days. That yeah, exactly. And luckily, I peaked at the right time, right before my CLAT, my score started shooting up again. So, yeah, luckily, I was in that phase of doing really well.
That's great, yeah. And how many legal edge mocks you would have written?
Oh, easily. I would have easily written 50 because like every time like legal edge used to drop a mock, I would immediately on the same day just write it because I feel the more mocks you write, the better because CLAT is all about practice.
Yes, yes. And what was usually your post mock analysis strategy?
Um, Personally, I wouldn't take that long to analyze, but I would recommend that people do take time to, sort out their mistakes. So what I used to do is I would like firstly I would correct my mock, see which questions I've gotten wrong. And one useful tip that that's really helped me is that after you check which questions you've gotten right and wrong, this works especially for sections like legal or English and logical. Eliminate the option that you got wrong and now try to reason from the remaining three options what could be the best option, because this helps a lot with your reasoning skills. Because like, yeah, the more and more you keep thinking about this, maybe you'll start thinking of a new pattern and you'll realize maybe I should have thought about this way when it comes to a passage like this. I feel that really helps. And use your mocks are also a decent source of GK. You can go back and revise those topics. And yeah, I was pretty diligent in doing that.
Anything you regret about your prep journey? Anything you would have done differently, even though it all, it ended well, all in your
Yeah.
rank three. But anything you wish you would have done differently?
uh Honestly, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I did the main things right, but I feel like, some small things maybe I only realized a lot later. Like, I never practiced quant until quite a bit, because, and after some time I realized, I'm good at math, but I'm consistently only getting 6 out of 12 marks or 5 out of 12 marks. And that's when I realized that quant is a subject that you have to practice every day. So I felt like maybe if I practiced quant a lot more often during the start of my journey, maybe I wouldn't have gotten into a roadblock like that.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And what is the strategy around GK?
I was in a study group with two other friends who luckily have gotten into NLS as well. So
That's great, yeah.
so what we used to do is we used to have a shared notebook and we used to divide sources so that all of us can get diverse like a vast number of GK topics. So and we all pitch in so that it's much more effective, because single person cannot cover that much. It would be a waste of time. So we all used to cover our respective sources and pool it together. And I feel the main thing that has helped me a lot this time is revision. I like and continuous revision throughout the year. So this is like one of my tips is that I used to use a lot of online flashcards. So I used an app that used to AI, like it was like AI. It used to take in my notes and create flashcards. And I used to my main way of revising GK was just to do those cards every day. And honestly, it really helps because using a tool like flashcards, it becomes like a pattern in your head, and it's honestly quite fun to do it because it doesn't feel really boring that, oh, you're reading the same pages again. So yeah, I would say using maybe other tools that can help make your GK revision a lot more fun and easy. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's you versus you. So whatever helps you improve is going to be the best solution.
Got it. Got it. And do you have a background in law, Rohan? Any?
Absolutely not. My whole family is from science stream. The only relation that I have is my grandmother's father was a lawyer, but everyone else is into science. So I'm like the first person in the family in a while who's taken law.
Got it. Got it. That's wonderful. Yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. So I think that's great, Rohan. Beyond Agatha Christie, what all other authors do you like?
Yeah, I like reading John Grisham. I just started reading a few of his books. I've read Jeffrey Archer as well. As a child, I used to enjoy
Have
the
you read The
Harry
Practical
Potter
Lawyer?
series. Oh no, I haven't. I started reading The Firm today.
So I think both of us share common interests. I've also read a lot of John Grisham, Jeffrey Archer. I think I've read more books of Jeffrey Archer.
Oh,
If you've started reading Jeffrey Archer, do read Cain and Abel.
okay,
It's the best book of Jeffrey Archer. And then there is also there's a I think it's called a sequel. Huh? I think there's a sequel to that by the name A Prodigal Daughter. So it'll
okay,
easily consume at least 2-3 months. These two books, I think they're all. I think both the books are of 1,000 pages, close to 1,000 pages. But a wonderful book.
okay.
So, and yes, John Grisham also. John Grisham is more like law wala.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's actually pretty like in a legal backdrop. Like I read The Rainmaker recently. It's a good book. Like it gives you an insight. Like maybe it's probably a lot dramatized, but yeah, it really it helps put into perspective like how lawyers actually go through these kind of stuff.
Yes, yes. And there are a lot of movies made on John Grisham books. So there's a
Yeah, yeah, I've
movie,
heard.
The Rainmaker. There's a movie, The Practical Lawyer. No, I'm sorry, not The Street Lawyer. Uh, so a lot of movies made on these books. So, and I think one of the movies have Tom Cruise. Also, think The Rainmaker has Tom Cruise.
Oh,
So, so yes, let me gift you a few books also, because we share a common interest here. And
yeah.
uh, take care. That's wonderful. So guys, thank you so much, Rohan, for the interview. Very enlightening, and I'm sure very useful for all the future CLAT aspirants. But one key takeaway from this interview, I'll definitely say start reading as soon as possible. Whenever you're watching it, if you're watching in class 9, then class 10, then class, whenever you're watching it, start reading. Uh, it's a habit that the benefits just keep on compounding for your whole life. I mean, CLAT is just the first major examination that you might be writing. I mean, the benefits will just. I'm 37 right now. I still read a lot, and I know the benefits in my profession also. So I mean, the benefits just keep on compounding. And these are some good authors to start with. The authors that we're talking about, which is John Grisham, Jeffrey Archer, and Agatha Christie. So good palatable books. I mean, you can easily read them. They're not very difficult to read. Good, interesting books. Also read David Baldacci if you haven't started. David Baldacci also has some wonderful books.
I haven't heard of him. I'll start reading.
He's a good, I think, American author. Uh, great. Yeah. ठीक है. So any parting words, Rohan, from your side for the future aspirants? Anything? Any parting words?
I would just like to say that, I would like to extend my best wishes, like just keep working, because at the end of the day, it's all worth it. Like if you put in the hard work, if you do the best you can, it really is worth it.
Yes, yes. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rohan.
Thank
And
you.
all the very best for what possibly are going to be the best 5 years of your life at NLS Bangalore or NLU Delhi. If you end up cracking, I'm sure
Endless
you'll end up.
Bangalore for sure.
If you end up cracking Delhi and you decide to go to Delhi instead of Bangalore.
Yeah.
Uh, so all the very best,
Thank
and
you.
let's be in touch.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Rohan. Take care.